Well guys, the final Bond film in the Bond collection I'm reviewing on Hulu. I know I did these out of order. If you're watching the playlist, I'm going to sort them in order of the release. But this is what you got. Not the last time, but James Bond is now returned to Sean Connery. Now in his 40s, he's got like 10 years on the far younger, more appealing, I suppose, Lazenby at this time. Sean Connery looks terrible here. I think he's lived pretty hard, smoking, drinking brandy and vodka martinis, who knows what. I mean, like, he's looking pretty damn rough. He actually looks better in Never Say Never Again in 1983 than he does here in, 70 or 71. This movie's pretty shitty. It's unfortunate. This is where I think that they went too somber, too serious, too dramatic, too art house, and this was reactionary. So it's like, okay, fine, you didn't like it being all gritty and shit, you didn't like Tracy getting killed off, well, fine. Here's your spoof before the spoof is really a thing going. I mean, yeah, there were some Flynn, Army and Flynn kind of things before this, but then now it's like, you know what, if they're going to make fun of us, we're going to do it too. Diamonds are forever. Bond's going around. It's Sean Connery. I'm sure everybody in the theater is like, oh shit, yeah, Sean, yeah, we wanted Sean back. He's got that authoritative voice. Oh yes, I'm Sean Connery. Tell me where he is. He's beating people up in casinos. Where is she? And then he just comes up to some chick, flips her bikini up over her. You see some boob, for sure. They edit this on TV. Strangles her. And then she's like, okay, he's over here, or whatever. Blofeld's getting some, face reassignment stuff, but when he shows up on the scene, Bond recognizes him instantly, even though this is the third actor playing him. This guy, Charles Gray, I think is pretty horrible as Blofeld. Donald Pleasance, actually, last time around, seemed kind of frightening. Or not Donald Pleasance, Telly Savalas. Donald Pleasance was not particularly frightening. Telly Savalas seemed like, because you remember him from The Dirty Dozen. He was the one that went rogue. So he's an intimidating dude. But here, this guy Charles Gray, he has full head of hair. That goes unexplained. I got damn awesome Adidas shoes. I just stepped in goose shit. Piss off. So, this guy, I get, they're going for some comedy angle here, almost certainly. Bond seems to have taken him out in this goo. He can't possibly survive. But then we find out later on there's this diamond smuggling ring. It's complicated and doesn't make sense at the same time. This gal, Tiffany Case. I think it's Tiffany Case this time, yeah. She's like one of in the chain of the link of this smuggling thing. It's a bit weird. It's like there's a guy that Bond is posing as. I like the way how Moneypenny is outside the office and kind of helping here. But they kill this guy, and then it's like, okay, we're going to hide the diamonds in the body. But then there's these guys with this mortuary set up. It's like, how do they already have this set up if killing this guy wasn't part of the plan? Or was it? Then you have these guys... Oh, shit. Mr. and Mr. I can't remember their names, even though they keep saying them to each other. They seem to be a couple, this gay couple. Really strange-looking fellas who are hitmen. And it's a bizarre vibe. I mean, they're going around killing people. It's like, oh, that's right, Mr. Such and Such. When you do this, you must do this. Yes, indeed, Mr. God, I can't remember their names. Probably for the better. So... they're doing their comedy bit, going around murdering people in the chain of this smuggling operation. Bond gets the body into America along with Case, but then he gets captured by the mortuary people. They're going to burn him in this coffin. It's in the incinerator at this funeral home. But then he gets pulled out. It's like, hey, those are fake diamonds. So it's like, okay, fine. I'll give me the real money when I give you the real diamonds or some shit. How did they... The coffin's already lighting up, and then they just pull it out and it's perfectly pristine again. Like, how the hell did that happen? they kind of cheated the death escape. So there's a comedian. He has a show at the one of the casinos. He's not even funny, but he's doing like an old bit. He's got two hot showgirls on his arms while he's telling these lame jokes. And Bond trails him, but these hitmen take him out before. There's a reclusive millionaire or billionaire living in one of the hotels, the White House. His name's his last name's White, and that's why his casino is called White. But anyhow, Bond ends up going to the top floor, has to pull some shenanigans to get up there. A lot of acrobatics. Not terrible scene work here. Gets in. What do you know? Blofeld's up there. He says the real White. He's elsewhere. That he's stolen his operation, and now he controls all these different plants. And he has a satellite where he's using these diamonds that they were smuggling. Bond had followed the trail, and yes, of course, there's another different Felix Leiter here who's old. And Bond follows this trail in weird bits where it's like Tiffany Case is involved in smuggling the diamonds, but there's a weird circus bit where it's like she's getting away from some people telling her, walks in this room where this woman's going to turn into a gorilla, and then there's like a gorilla costume person scares these kids. Like, what the hell? What are we watching anymore? And then they get away in the desert. Bond had followed this diamond scheme, but sees they're being applied to the satellite. It's gonna make diamonds are gonna get put on a satellite to create a laser that can take out nukes, so that the country that pays the most will be the only nuclear power. Jesus Christ! I don't care what the hell you did to this laser. You're gonna find subs, You're gonna find nuclear subs and blast them from the ocean in space. Look at this shit. But there's also a weirdly funny scene. Surely they were going for jokes here. Bond is making his getaway, and these guys are training for like lunar rover shit. And Bond runs across them, and the bad guy's like, "Hey, get him!" And these guys are moving in slow motion as Bond runs away and jukes them. First of all, zero gravity doesn't mean slow motion. It doesn't impede you. If anything, you could move more freely because the gravity, or less gravity, the moon's gravity allows you to bounce around. It doesn't make you go slow. Not in the arm movement. So that's something you need to know about space. Bond gets away in this goofy rover. Has a chase in the desert. It's pretty terrible. Gets away with the chick. And then something arises and the girl gets captured. Bond realizes that just an audio cassette has all the information needed to guide these missiles. To guide the satellite. And, that is that. There's not a terrible lot to say right there. Bond meets up with White, rescues him. He's got these body gals, I guess. Bambi and Thumper, who do gymnastics and fight Bond. Bond beats them up, says, "Where's White?" "Over there." Were they keeping an eye on him? Or were they his guards? I'm not really sure. So, White tells Bond, "Hey, I don't have an operation over in the coast over there. That's got to be where their base is. If it's a new setup for him, it wasn't my empire built." Bond's like, "Okay, fine, I'm going to check that out." Parachutes down into the ocean in this ball, this hamster wheel that inflates, so he can walk up to the platform, get taken in, and he's on this oil platform. Tiffany Case is there, needs rescuing, but she's chilling in a bikini. And Bond is like, "All right, so this is this, whatever. And, you got this cassette, you're going to switch around my tracking system, that's smooth of you." Bond then, I don't know why he does this. He makes the switch, and then he hands off the fake cassette in Tiffany's butt. Like, hands it to her, calls her a bitch, and then says, your future's behind you. So then she makes the switch and is like, hey, Bond, I switched the tapes. He's like, you twit. I had it correct. I already switched it. Well, then why'd you give her the other? You know, why didn't you just keep that in your pocket or something? Instead of basically giving her a message to switch the tapes if you get a chance. So the satellite's up. It's blasting shit away. He mentions he could blow up Kansas. No one would notice. You're absolutely correct, Charles Gray Blofeld. And Bond releases a balloon, which gives the signal to Felix to start the mission to fight these people. And then shit's getting real over there, comically. You know, there's guns blazing and all this, but, you know, the action seems so cartoonish compared to what we had just seen on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Bond has Blofeld. Well, Blofeld was getting away in this submarine. Bond then pulls it back. He never really gets it into the water. He dips it in the water a bit. Bond gets control of the crane, throws it up against the control room. He's beating him around. It's like, you idiot, you nearly killed me. Doesn't realize it's Bond doing it. And that's the last we see of Blofeld here. It's just like, what happened? He get away? How does he get away from this? The whole place gets blown up. You never really have the Dr. Evil, I'll get you next time, gadget next time. You know, Dr. Evil, Dr. Claw sort of scene at the end of these movies. But it's just like, well, I guess he got away each time. And then I think Bond and Tiffany Case, they're on this boat, this cruise at the end celebrating. They're going to get this extravagant dinner. The waiters are Mr. Kidd. That was one of them. Mr. Something Else was the name of the other one. Don't remember his name. These two are going after Bond. They have this schooner that's got flame on it. They're going to take him out. Oh, but Bond doesn't fall for it. You know, Bond ends up like getting the flame on him, spraying him with some stuff. He goes up, dead. He goes into the water overboard. Then flips the other guy, grabs him by the crotch, makes some weird sound. Explosive on him, blows him up because there was this bomb cake. It's dumb. This is a low point for the Bond film franchise. Until, of course, To Die Another Day. You know, pick your poison here. They're both among the very worst. I give Diamonds Are Forever 1.5 out of 4 stars. See you next time.